Happy for High Day. Hey, hi, how's it hanging? Short shrivel and to the left. Contrary to that very classy opening, this is kind of gonna be a serious-ish video. But at the same time, I think it's a really important one for me to make. Earlier this week, I realized there is a recurring conversation I've been having one-on-one with people, during podcasts, at conferences, on panels, but I've never had it here, in my little corner of the internet. So today I wanna talk with you about why I quit parenting on the internet. Now, I started creating content online back in like 2008. I'd shot a human being out of my coot chute like a confetti cannon, and I wanted to show him off. So I did what most new parents were doing at the time. I started a momming blog. It was adorably hilarious and a very sense-making creative outlet until it wasn't. Until about 2 or 3 years in, when it started to feel like an expectation. A singular application for creativity by virtue of nothing more than the fact that I had had a kid. Sort of a life-inflicted math equation, if you will. Woman plus parent status equals only a parent in all things for the rest of forever. Now, this confusing self-discovery kind of got me thinking that maybe, just maybe, the time I was spending creating online didn't have to be about parenting. That I could very much be a nurturing, loving, attentive parent without having to explicitly express that element of self in everything that I publish. Now, here's an example I've made a few times. Picture for me a successful hip-hop music producer, male or female. Now, imagine that that successful hip-hop music producer became a parent. Let's say they take some time off during the early days of that baby, and then they decide to go back to work. The first or the 400th time that that person is back in the studio, they aren't solely producing lullaby albums now, are they? No, they're not. Are they any less of a parent because of that? No, they're not. The tricky thing about the internet and social media is that we intrinsically link those things to persons. There's not that separation of work and home life like there is with the music producer. Online, we strive to find and often present that universal relatability. One thing about ourselves that the person across the street or the country or the planet can share understanding about. And honestly, that's the most beautiful thing we have going for humanity. But it's also one of the most limiting and terrifying things we can do in the swell of access we have thanks to technology. It's bad for us, it's bad for our kids. Human beings are creatures too dynamic to operate in all aspects of existence as one singular thing. It's a handicap to our own growth. It's a disservice to the generations that are set to follow. Now, the internet really loves these buckets of Pinterest-inspired chalkboard labels hanging from the handle. And I'll agree that buckets are a great way to organize things that are just kind of scattered about. But they're a not so great thing for placing people. I mean, besides the obvious of attempting to fit a 5'10" woman like myself into a bucket. Comical, but ineffective. Back to the point though. There's a time and a place to fill a bucket, and I don't think that the internet is that place. Okay, way too much with the bucket analogies, Jess. I've gotten completely off track, but a lot of this is just to say that it's okay not to abandon all of your interests the second you become a parent. It's okay to make dick jokes on the internet after you breastfeed your baby in the middle of the night. It's okay to make hip-hop music when the world expects you to be singing lullabies, because the world is catching up. They're getting to a place where they understand that you could be speaking to humans and sharing a grip of interest without ever having to speak to every single one of those interests. As a parent, I am in the business of raising a dynamic and ambitiously functioning person. But there's no way that I can do that for him if I strip all of those things away from myself. So I just want to close with this advice. If you feel stuck in what's acceptable for you to be creating to, quit. This outlet is the blankest of canvases you will ever have available to you. Don't waste your time painting the picture that strangers expect from you. So my leg is totally asleep, and I know that that was way more serious than you have seen anything published, but I just feel like it was a really, really important video for me to make. I can't feel the toes on my right foot. I'm interested to hear about you. Do you have a struggle with this? Like I said at the beginning, I have talked to so many people about this. It's a really real thing, and it's something that I want to be able to relate to people, and I want people to feel less alone about. So leave me a comment, shoot me an email, tweet me, find me on Facebook, whatever means you feel comfortable with reaching out to me regarding this, do it. I want to hear from you. I want to help you be comfortable and dynamic and badass and cool and do all of the cool shit that's going to help you raise cool, badass people. Blah, blah, blah. Hit the subscribe button if you want to make sure you see, I don't know necessarily more of this, but funny stuff like the bucket jokes and things. Until next time, happy weekend.